Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. Kerry Butler, Matt Walton, and Megan Sikora star in Under My Skin, the new comedy by Robert Sternin and Prudence Fraser, the producing and writing team of such hit TV shows as The Nanny and Who's the Boss. Under the direction of Kirsten Sanderson, it will open on May 15th at the Little Shubert, and I dropped by the rehearsal room to meet the company. So give me sort of the journey of this piece.
I'm going to let you take the beginning of that journey.
Okay. We did the first reading of it in New York about 6 or 7 years ago. I think we've come to the conclusion in our writing. It's what you mentioned earlier, the quill pen which came about from a series we did called The Charmings, at which point we realized that we really love to write situations that couldn't possibly be, like Snow White and Prince Charming waking up in Los Angeles and having to be kind, courteous, and honest, and then making them real. So it's kind of, we say it's a what-if project. Well, okay, this couldn't happen, but what if it did? Which sort of is where this play lives. It explores a lot of themes that we were kind of working with, sort of the haves and the have-nots, the difference between men and women, and then sort of the healthcare aspect brought it all together in sort of feeling like so many people have stories about their experiences with the healthcare business that we just thought if we put all of this together in a what-if kind of theatrical piece, it would be really fun to write.
So if you take the haves and the have-nots, so you have a woman who's a have-not, has no power, no real voice, and switch her with the CEO of a healthcare company, you end up with this woman who is used to juggling, an aging grandfather and a daughter running a healthcare company, and you have the CEO of a healthcare company being a girl with cramps. It seemed like it would be a funny way to go.
Sure. And talk about your cast.
It's interesting. Kerry Butler did the very first reading 7 years ago, and we've done a lot of readings. A part of the show was picked up and used in the Pink Campaign on Broadway by Susan Komen Foundation after that reading, and Kerry did that. And then we went on and did readings in LA, and we did a production in Pasadena, and we always thought, we need to get this play back to New York, and we kept in touch with Kerry and said, when we get this play back to New York, you're in this. And then it worked out that she was free, and Matt did the Pasadena production, and we thought he was phenomenal, so we kept him. Megan Sikora has been in every reading, every workshop, she's been in the net 8 times, and she was sort of like, okay, we're sticking with Megan, we love her. And the rest of the cast, we cast here in New York, and it's a joy to come to work and watch them. They're brilliant.
This is really thrilling because we all know you from the TV world, and I'm fascinated that your whole other, you wanted to write for the theater. What do you love about writing for the theater as opposed to television?
Well, in television, you have about a week from the time you read the script till you shoot it, and if all goes well, the audience comes in Friday night and it kills, and you're so happy, and then you get in the car and you go, oh my God, we have nothing for Monday. In this one, you get to come watch it over and over, and it just gets better and better. It's awesome.
Yeah, and the rehearsal process is so different. And the rehearsal process in television is the Tuesday run-through, basically. You get to say, let's try this differently, and maybe Wednesday you can look at it again. And here you've got a month to really get into the characters and the depth and the actors having thoughts. I mean, and even the difference between the Pasadena production and this production, which is significant, came from having the time here and a director with a new vision, and the time to work with the cast about, like I said, what if? Okay, what if you really were switched, and what if you were in this situation, and what does it mean to you? And I love it.
What do you want audiences to walk away with after leaving this?
Having had a good enough time to tell all their friends to come again, but I think having really enjoyed themselves. I mean, at the root of it, it's a comedy. But one of the things that we just were so happy about in the Pasadena production is that people would stop us in the lobby and talk to us about their cancer diagnosis, their stories with healthcare, and that just the thought of maybe opening a discussion, at dinner about, that show was funny, but what if healthcare? I mean, I guess the theme of the show is what if healthcare cared. And it's not a political show. We're not saying we should have Obamacare, we shouldn't have Obamacare. We're just sort of saying we should have care.
Right.
And
when you get a terrible diagnosis, what you want is someone to make your life easier, not someone making your life harder.
So take me back to the beginning. Robert and Prudence told me that you were involved in this from the very beginning.
Yeah, I was. I don't know how I got involved. I don't know if Cindy Rush cast me in it all the way back then, but I did a few readings of it, and it was really fun. It's a different part for me, and it's nice to be in something just really fluffy and fun. I mean, even though it does have a message that's sinks in, but my last show was like so serious that it's fun just to like get back really comic, really physical.
So tell me who you play and where she fits into the piece.
Okay, well, I'm getting back to my Brooklyn roots because I'm playing Melody, and she's from Staten Island. And my Brooklyn accent is coming out all the time now because it's such a big part that like all day long I'm doing Brooklyn accent, and at home I'm like, there's my Brooklyn accent. I've tried so hard to get rid of it. Now it's coming out all the time. But so she's from Staten Island. She didn't get that much education, so she doesn't have a great job, and she's temping now. So something happens with me and my egotistical boss, and we become very intimate with each other in a way that you don't usually see on stage. And so I've never played a part like this before. I've never had to get in touch with my masculinity in this way. So it should be fun.
So what's it been like working on so far? Like that you do heavy plays or you've done musicals, so it must be nice to do something light, like you said.
It's really fun, and it is very new for me because I don't want to give it away, but there are parts in the show that like I have never experienced, and I can only use my imagination, and so it's challenging to make that a reality and to figure out how you're going to make it a reality when it's so kind of far-fetched. It's like a sexual farce, and fast. But Matt and I, who plays the boss, Mr. Badish, we went out to dinner the other day, and we had fun because we were doing each other's lines for each other and like figuring out what kind of mannerisms we were going to steal from each other, and because we're always playing ourselves, but as I said, we get kind of switched a little bit, and so it's like those subtle moments that the audience might not pick up on, but that we'll kind of know, and we'll know that we're changing, and both characters change very much from the beginning to the end of the play.
What's it been like working with the cast so far and your director?
Oh, great. We're having a great time. We're like moving along really quickly. I love the cast. I've worked with a lot of people before. Megan and I did the readings together before, and we're playing best friends, and we're like, we have the best time together. We're like two peas in a pod, and it's both crazy and loud.
And you're going into a Little Shubert.
Yeah, it's a beautiful theater. I've never even been there before, but I'm excited.
It's like, I call it the Little Big House. It's like a Broadway house on 42nd Street.
Yeah, I know, it's nice. I haven't actually even been in there. I've only seen pictures.
So what are you looking forward to the most with returning to New York in this?
What am I looking forward to most? I just love being in the theater community. I love doing all of the fun things like, I'll probably be there for the flea market. I just love those things. It's such a fun community to be a part of, and we all know each other, and we all go to all these events together.
Well, this is great. Thank you for opening your rehearsal room today.
Thank you for having me.
So give me your history with the piece.
I was sitting in New Jersey in 2012 about to do a horror movie when Tony-nominated director Marsha Milgram Dodge, whom I've worked with before, called and said, "Where are you?" I'm like, "Well, I'm about to go to LA." She goes, "How'd you like to do this play?" She emailed it to me. I read it in under an hour, and I said yes. I said no to the horror movie, and I went to Pasadena to do this show. I think it's a great, great, great play.
So what can you tell us about the role that you play in the play without giving too much away?
I can tell you I play the CEO of Amalgamated Healthcare. He's a rich playboy, and he runs into some very strange circumstances with his personal assistant, a temp, who of course he doesn't insure. That's really all I want to.
So how do you describe the play? You gave me those little 3 or 4 little words.
It's kind of like Trading Places meets All of Me. You know, it's a body switch play. That's evident, you know, by the poster. How that happens is the great reveal, and how we work through that is the play itself.
And talk about the cast.
Well, I get to work with one of my favorite Broadway stars, Kerry Butler, whom I've been watching for 15 years, from Blood Brothers to Xanadu. And we have great chemistry, I think. Very excited about that. The rest of the cast are very hilarious actors from New York. Megan Sikora I worked with in Pasadena. She's got a few Broadway shows under her belt. And yeah, we're a great ensemble. Really happy to have everybody here.
And tell me what you're looking forward to the most with doing this in New York.
Just bringing this piece to a larger audience. It was a real crowd pleaser in Pasadena. I mean, just uproariously funny, and they left just elated from having been there. So this is just going to open it up to the tri-state area and beyond, hopefully.
You know, you do a lot of film and television. What do you love the most about doing stage?
The immediate feedback, the thrill, the live response. In film, you do your thing, you go, and then it's up to the director and the editor to tell the story. In theater, you worked with the creative team to build the story, and then it's on the actors to do the telling, you know? And that's more empowering and more artistic as an actor.
Give me your history with the piece, where it all began.
I got a call about this piece in January, and I met with Marla Phillips up in Santa Barbara, and we hit it off, and we had a shared interest with the piece and what it's about, so we went with that.
So what attracted you to the play, and what do you love about the writing?
I am fortunate enough to have been mentored for many, many years by the filmmaker Blake Edwards. I was his assistant on Victor Victoria and continued to work with him until the end of his life. And this is the sort of elegant, modern farce that he was terrific at and loved. And this play struck me as a great opportunity to take all the things I'd learned from Blake and bring them to a project, and to bring his style and his work, to keep his style alive in the modern theater. And he is one of the great farceurs of the last century, and I felt like I had that to bring to this project. I'm often able to look at this and say, well, what would Blake do? And I think about it, laugh, and try it. So.
Oh, what a beautiful homage. I loved Blake Edwards. I talked to him a lot during Victor Victoria on stage. I got to know him a bit, so this is fascinating. Talk about your cast.
I'm the luckiest director in town for this stunning cast. I mean, Kerry Butler is beyond great. She's absolutely funny and fun and sexy and smart and such a terrific actress, and it's really great to have her in a play. You know, she's fabulous. Same thing with Matt. Matt did the play in Pasadena, and I didn't see the production in Pasadena, but I'd heard great things about Matt, and I've wanted to work with him for years and years. So again, this opportunity presented itself. And similarly with Megan, she's an actress who I've followed since Curtains, and I just think she's stunning. So, Kate Loprest again. People think of Kate as she is a musical theater actress. She is it should be against the law to be as funny and as beautiful as Kate is. She's breathtaking. She plays a number of character roles in this show, and each one is it's singular, fully defined, and brilliantly done. I'm really deeply fortunate to have such a great group. Ed Hyland, who's been in the theater forever, is stunning as a man 20 years older than Ed is. They're all really, really great. Deirdre is hilarious. She plays our angel, and she's got a fun and pretty wild take on it. Being an angel is a complicated, tricky thing to do. Deirdre's great at that, so really, really happy. Andy Polk also plays a number of character roles, and he's great. He's also hilarious. So they were they were all people we wanted first for it, and we lucked out. It's really a model cast, yeah.
What are you looking forward to the most with bringing this to New York?
Always seeing it in front of an audience. Always. We have a long preview period for this, which is great. Something I learned from Blake Love in particular and Victor Victoria. First you direct the play and then you direct the audience. So we have a lot of opportunity to do that, and I'm excited. I love politically relevant theater, and though this is a comedy in no uncertain terms, it's also a comedy that deals with really relevant and important social issues. We all know somebody who's been shortchanged by the healthcare system, people who have been misdiagnosed or incorrectly diagnosed or lost everything they have as a consequence of fighting their cancer. And that's fundamentally wrong. It shouldn't happen in America, and you can have a funny comedy and still point at something that's one of the great weaknesses of our society.
So you've been with this from the beginning, right? Tell me.
I've done it all. I don't know, like Robin Prue said, I'm their mascot. I just am so blessed and so grateful that they keep asking me to do this, because Nanette is an incredible character. I love everything she stands for, just living life to the fullest, take every moment as it comes, be in the present, be kind. She's a huge heart. I just love what she is, and I love this piece so much, what it deals with, to have a sense of humor about all of it. It's so important, and I think it's really important to put things in people's faces, these subjects, to say, let's talk about this. But we can be entertained by it at the same time.
Sort of put a funny, light spin on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've had the luxury of, like I said, being with it from the very beginning and seeing every version of it along the way, and having different directors. And it's been, as an actor, really exciting, because I'm playing the same character but being asked to bring different aspects of her to light with each person's take on it. And with each version that they write, it's a little bit different. So it's almost a little bit like doing a TV show where you get to play the same character, but it's different every day, kind of thing.
I like the way you put that, because I was going to say, what is it like creating a role with different directors? Then it's like you have to start all over again, sort of, from the beginning with somebody new. But I love the analysis you use of, like I said, doing a TV show, like a different episode.
Yeah, it does feel like that. And Kirsten is asking more of the characters and of the piece than ever before. She's really digging in and trying to make these larger-than-life characters real and grounded, and I'm very much loving discovering that.
I talked to Kerry about this. We all fell in love with both of you in musical comedy and musical theater. It must be a real, just like a breath of fresh air, not to have to sing and dance and use your acting skills, the comedy end that you've learned.
Yes, of course. But I don't know. It's all the same to me. It all comes from the same place, and sharing your talents, sharing your storytelling abilities, whether you're just speaking, whether you bust into song or bust into dance, it all comes from the same place. It's written. It has a very musical feel about it, the way it's written. That's how comedy works, like the pattern and the melody of all of it. So it doesn't feel foreign. I don't feel like I'm doing a play at all. But it is nice that I don't have to warm up before.
Well, I spoke to Matthew Morrison when he was doing a play, and he's like, Richie, it feels so nice that I can go out and have a beer. Afterwards, I don't have to worry that I have to sing 8 shows a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you looking forward to the most with bringing this to New York and working with your friend Kerry Butler?
I know. I'm so glad that she said yes to this project. I just adore her, and we're having stupid fun doing this. It's almost like kismet, like we were just meant to be. Things just fall into place in rehearsal. I'm so thrilled for Robin Prue and for Marla, because they've been working on this piece for so long, and for New York to finally see it. I'm so proud of them and so honored to be a part of it. I'm just really happy for them, and so New York deserves to see this finally.
We will be there opening night. This is so exciting. I love this. So tell me how you got involved in the project?
I just auditioned. I got an audition, and I read the script, and I read the character, and there was something in me that just said, like, uh-oh. Like, I know who this person is, and I felt, really comfortable with it, and it happened. So who knows? Instincts were right.
Talk about the role.
It's the main role that I play is the character of Victoria, who is Harrison Badish, Matt Walton's character, his kind of like Upper East Side, snooty, icy fiance. What I also love about what I do in the show is I play all the other kind of smaller characters. I play a couple nurses, I play a reporter, and I love to play. I love the duality of doing many different things. I do one scene when I go from one reporter into another, into a nurse, and do quick changes on stage. And I love that. That's playtime for me. So this is great. This is a dream for sure.
And what you loved about the play when you first read it, because it's this great comedy about serious subject.
Yes. It's funny. I was my family has been going through financial healthcare stuff. I have 3 older grandparents. It's just the way the world is right now. And the things that my mom has been through, and she said to me, she's like, why doesn't somebody write a musical about healthcare? Well, it turns out it's a play, and I was like, hey, Mom, guess what? So funny, this happened. I forgot what you asked me.
But it's a comedy dealing with serious subjects.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's the best way to deal with serious subjects sometimes, you know what I mean? I think there's light and there's dark, and I think that's the way that the world approaches them, and at least I do. And I love that about the play. I read the play, and I knew it was funny, and I knew that there was physical comedy involved, and that there was both light and dark. And I was like, yeah, this is the project for me.
And working with this cast, friends of yours.
It's so crazy. I said it's like the most musical theater cast. But hey, if you need comics, if you need physical performers, you will find musical theater people. And it's so great that I've worked with Kerry before. We did Xanadu together, and Megan and I did Wicked together, and everybody has a friend who knows everybody else. It's wonderful. It's safe. It's wonderful, and I'm really happy.
Because I asked Megan, I said, what is it like not having to do a musical? And she goes, it sort of is a musical in the way it's written and everything that we do, except there's no songs.
Yeah, there's no songs. It was Kirsten, our director, actually said to us on the first day, she was like, it's in the vein of that it isn't a musical, but it's the most musical theater piece in that the comedy is the music of it. And I'm like, oh, I totally get that. I absolutely get that.
What are you looking forward to the most with bringing this to New York?
The run, the audiences. That really, without an audience, the audience is the other performer. You know what I mean? I can't wait to get it up in front of people, and for people to see it, and to hear people's reactions to both the serious subject, but enjoying the physical comedy of the whole thing.
Okay, so this is my first time in the piece. I auditioned maybe a month and a half ago, and here I am. I'm so lucky and feel so blessed to be here.
So who do you play in the show?
I play Casey Dent. I play Melody Dent's daughter, and that means that Kerry's my mom. So how lucky is that?
So how does she sort of fit into the piece?
Well, basically, Melody has a family in Staten Island. She's got her she's got her grandfather, Papa Sam, and I'm her sassy 15-year-old daughter who always gives her a hard time for some reason.
What do you love about the piece?
You know what's beautiful about this piece? Under My Skin is a sitcom comedy on stage. There's nothing like it, I think, out there right now. The comedy is really pure and beautifully written, and I think audiences are really going to connect because there's such an issue right now with the healthcare system in this country, and this spoofs it completely in such a farcical and perfectly New York way. It's also set in Staten Island, so welcome people, welcome New Yorkers. This is our play.
And talk about working with your cast.
This cast is so collaborative, and we are free to play. Our director, Kirsten Sanderson, really has given us a platform to really just play the comedy. Well, not play the comedy, but play the reality in the comedy and just explore every single day. Everyone's really kind. I interact very much with my great-grandpa, played by Ed Hyland. And basically with my family unit, I also have Matt Walton in my family when he switches bodies with my mom. And then I'm sort of very confused because all of a sudden my mom is standing up to me, and it makes me feel threatened. So
Oh boy, I saw it advertised somewhere, and I thought, you know what, I could do that role. I mean, it was right up my alley. I'm not a youngster, but I'm not quite that age. But I feel like I am some mornings when I get up, oiling the knees and the back and what have you, and putting in my my ear horn like my old granddad used to have. But I auditioned for it. I got an audition for it, and the director said, "How the hell did you do that? You just aged 20 years in front of me." And I luckily got a call back and met the writers, Prue and Rob, and wonderful people. And they called me a little while later and offered me the role.
So what has it been like working on this? Because it's a very serious subject in a funny way.
It's hysterical. It's hysterical. It's very different from what I'm used to doing. I mean, you remember Machinal, it was very different subject matter. But I do a lot of Shakespeare, I do a lot of, American classics, Williams and O'Neill and that kind of thing. And it's not something I haven't done, but it's something that I don't do often. And it's like, oh, let me have it, give it to me. And it was so it's been great, and Kirsten has been she's just fabulous. I got an opportunity. I did a concert production of Carousel at the Philharmonic last year, and John Rando was the director. And I said to him, as I told Kirsten, I said, you're having too much fun out there. You're just like a kid in a candy shop, working the way she as well as he just have so much fun in the rehearsal process, and create thereby the kind of atmosphere that make you want to reach and continue to reach and not stop reaching. But no, it's been fabulous, and the cast is stellar. Every one of them, they're amazing, and they you have to dig. You have to dig, keep up, to do what you can, and it's been great.
I just got a call to audition for it, and then I got it. But apparently, some of the history of this role was Richard Kind had done it. It's been a lot of men, so I guess that's very exciting for women that I booked a role a lot of guys have done. It's really funny, so I'm enjoying it. I feel like my instinct on the role was to do it like a hitman on The Sopranos, which makes sense to me because that's kind of how, the guys would do it, I think. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun to do that as a girl.
So tell us who you're playing.
Oh, I play the Angel of Death, which is very exciting. Yeah, it's really fun and new for the resume. I don't have too many Angels of Death on there, so that's good,
So what attracted you to the play itself?
It's so funny. It's literally like a staged sitcom. It is like a sitcom on stage. It's so funny, so quick. There's a laugh every 30 seconds. It's so good. And then the additional benefit of coming here, and the entire cast is one person's funnier than the next person. The writers are phenomenal. Kirsten has amazing instincts it's just been, everything on the process has just made it better and better. But I think initially the script was so funny to me. It just blew me away. Yeah, absolutely.
Because you're like 2 weeks into rehearsal?
Yeah, about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks in, yeah.
So talk about working with the cast.
Well, Kerry Butler, dream. When I was much younger, going to see Hairspray, she was like clearly an idol of mine. And Matt Walton, unbelievable, so funny, really composed, but just has that great delivery. Megan Sikora, just unbelievable. Like physically, what you're going to see her do on stage is like, and just the entire ensemble. Andy Polk, Ed Hyland, Allison Strong, Kate LaPrette. Every single person in the ensemble is just unbelievably funny. So you can't believe it. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Are you looking forward to adding the audience into the mix?
Oh my, yes. Please, yes. Actually, Kirsten has been bringing in, she has a little sound box. She's been giving us a laugh track from time to time when we do something funny, which is very encouraging now at this point, which has been really, really fun. But I'm excited to have the audiences see it, absolutely.
I love that. I never heard that, a director that puts a laugh box. I love it.
I love it too because it really makes you, after a couple weeks of the jokes, when you're getting those laughs again, you really feel much better about them.
So how did you get involved?
Oh my God, that is the $1 million question. Rob Sternin and Prudence Fraser and I all live in Santa Barbara. And they did a stage reading in Santa Barbara a number of years ago and asked me if I could help. And I said, in what way? Which way do you want me to help? And they said, well, we're going to do this reading, but we don't know if we can get, it's new, it's a brand new show, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, I'll bring a few people. So I brought 240 people. We did 2 readings, had parties going up, parties going down, and people were falling out of their chairs. And I'm not kidding you. Falling out of their chairs laughing on a staged reading with some amazing talent even then. So I was blown away by the writing. I'm a huge fan of both of them to begin with, and their friends on top of it. And they said, maybe you should stay with us. I think the 240 people was a dead giveaway. By the way, I produced 1 million events, and I'm secretly a music publisher, but don't tell anyone. Hello. So now I'm their producer. Yeah, wow, that's right, Richard.
I love that. So how excited are you to be bringing this play to New York?
I couldn't be more proud. I couldn't be more excited. We absolutely stayed the course because we feel it's such an important story. Yes, it's hilarious. Oh my God, it's one of the funniest shows I've ever seen in my life. But it's smart funny, and it cares, that is, besides Rob and Prue, that is completely the reason that I'm involved. I am involved with my producing partner, Marcy Carsey, but the main reason that I could not pass up this opportunity beyond the comedy is that I couldn't pass up the fact that beyond just bringing the care and healthcare, I think it's an empathetic, hilarious story about all of us remembering that we care about each other, that we care, I talked the other day with somebody about, do you remember when we all had porches? Sorry to date myself, but we did. We all had porches. I'm from Pennsylvania, and you know what? You knew when Aunt Ethel was sick down the street. It wasn't because you typed it. It wasn't because, I love social media, but it was because you knew, you cared, and somebody was already doing something about it. And I love that. And that, in addition to falling off your chair laughing, is what I hope you take away from this show. That's my takeaway.
And dynamite cast.
Are we so lucky, Richard? You just interviewed everybody. We are so lucky to have an amazing cast. I am so proud of them. I think that not only some of the best actors I have ever seen. It's one thing to be a really strong actor. It's another thing, and you and I both know, to nail comedy. And you know what? Comedy for me, and I said this right when I got to town, comedy is tough. There's no shame in comedy. It's friggin' hard, folks. People in New York, everywhere. Comedy is hard. And it's an art form. It's an art form, and it's not easy to do. So to have great actors that can pull off comedic moments with some of the best smart, funny writing you're ever going to read, let alone hear, it's a triple threat. We're a triple threat.
So give me your history with the piece.
My history with the piece is brand new. I auditioned for it in this inception of it. And I got the role, and I think because I made them laugh, and that's it. And now here we are in this rehearsal, and we're all just trying to top each other. Really,
that's good, right?
It really is kind of funny. Like, I've never had a rehearsal like this where it was just like, because it's filled with hilarious people, and everyone's literally trying to make the other person laugh more every day. I feel like in a laptop.
Who do you play?
I play a lot of people. I'm that guy who plays all the guys. So I play 3 different doctors. I play an orderly. I play a really gross guy at a singles bar. I play a British limousine driver. And I play sort of a version of Jim Cramer from CNBC. And another newscast. I mean, it's like 12 people. And I come in and out of the play a lot. But the main guy is a gynecologist named Dr. Hertz, spelled differently. And that's one of my lines, spelled differently. And so he is the one who gives the gender-switched character a gynecological exam, a thorough one.
It must be great as an actor to play all these different roles in a show.
I love it. It's like I've done this a lot. It's a thing I do, which is I feel grateful for, to be able to play all these different. You come in, you're someone else. You come out, you're someone else. It's a big challenge as an actor, but it's also a blast because you basically don't stop moving for the entire play. If you're not on stage, you're backstage changing into someone else. You know what I mean? So it's a blast to be that guy playing all the different roles.
Do you come from that world of comedy, like the improv, the quick changes on stage, or going back and forth between characters?
Yeah, I do. I mean, that's something I really responded to my whole career, and I get hired to do it a lot. I call myself the budget saver. If you have a big cast, you don't need a big cast. Just hire me, and I'll play all those guys. You know what I mean? But seriously, it is fun. I think for the audience to see actors do that, to go through their paces and see, can they transform quickly. And I really have always thought of acting that way as a transformative thing. So just the craft is to, can you inhabit all these different people quickly? And it's fun for me and fun for the audience,
Talk about working with the cast and your director.
I love it. The guys, the people they've got, this team they're all like so smart and sharp and funny. And the material is funny, and the director is wonderfully responsive. The writing team, Rob and Prue, I've never had. They come from the world of TV, really funny TV, and so I've never experienced where you can have rewrites like on the spot. Like you'll do something and they say, that doesn't work. Try this, and then it's hilarious. And they just are right. Some playwrights can be very precious about their work. They're not. They're like, no, we're going to do what works. And they're so smart and funny, and so that's been the best part, to see how quickly they work and respond to you as an actor. And the cast it's so talented, and all Broadway actors and wonderful group. Really.
And then you have your director.
Yeah, Kirsten, who is wonderful and just always trying to not only keep the humor in it, but grounding the whole thing, and so that it's something that not only will you laugh, but you'll come away with something, I think, poignant about the health industry. And she keeps it real. She keeps it, something meaty as well. A bit of gravitas in it.
I love that she has the laugh box during the rehearsal.
Yeah, she
right?
does have a laugh box.
Tell me.
Well, she randomly, it doesn't make any sense. She'll just hit it, We start laughing. I know. We have our own soundtrack in rehearsal. You gotta have that kind of room, where you feel loose and you can feel as an actor you can do anything and it's okay. And I think the results you will see are gonna be really great.